Okay, now we are done with the waving, and we will be focusing on another crafts that is very rich in our country, which is the pottery. So pottery is a creative arts and crafts of very rich in the Philippines. So let's start with its brief background and what are the things that we should prepare in making this kind of sculpture or art. Okay, a brief background. Pottery are functional and decorative objects made from clay and fired at high temperature. Ceramics from Greek ceramikos, patter is also a term used, although ceramics has a wider application and includes objects for industrial use. Pottery is divided into three types. We have the earthenware or the terracotta. We have the stoneware and the porcelainware. So earthenware are usually the pots that we have or the palayoks that we have. The stonewares are the mixture of the stones. It's very hard, like the jars, no? And porcelainwares are very shiny objects like we use in our homes, no? Usually with decorations and designs. Now, pottery is one of the oldest human inventions. It originated before the Neolithic period, meaning it exists during the civilizations where we do not use other technologies. We only rely on the natural resources. So the Gravitian culture or the Venus of the Dolny Pistonis figurine discovered in Czech Republic. So dating in 29,000 to 25,000 BC. So the oldest recorded uh, things or in terms of pottery was found in the Czech Republic, and then later on, the Chinese people made those discoveries known since they are the ones who continually uh, give importance to this kind of arts and crafts. Now, when we go to the Philippine setup, it was discovered in 3,500 years ago during the time of our indigenous people or the IP people who created their jars, no, or anitos, and sculpt their deity or god, no. So bulol is one of the jars in the Philippine history that we use, and primarily it is used to store the bodies of their loved ones, no? So it is used as a tomb, no? Or a grave for the loved ones to store. It's like an urn, no? So the ancient Philippines has a very rich tradition of pottery that has verified by the Ayub Cave in South Cotabato and other parts of the island. That includes the cave in Palawan, no? So those are some several artifacts that we have found during that time or 3,500 years ago. Now let's go to the types and materials. As I've said, there are three kinds of pottery that we are using here in the Philippines. We have the earthenware, the stoneware, and the porcelainware. Now let's go to the earthenware. It is formed when surface shales and clay are fired at low temperature between 18, 1,840 Fahrenheit to 2,030 Fahrenheit. Meaning to say it is cooked in a low fire temperature And one example for this are the turning modeling clay or the pots or the palayok. So that's the earthenware, usually mixed with water. And we have the stoneware from fine clay and from fine stones, no. So it is used, no, in a very uh, fine texture of the stones, no. So it is higher temperature, like 2130 Fahrenheit to 2300 Fahrenheit, unlike the earthenware. Now, for the porcelainware, it's a mixture of kaolin and feldspar. Kaolin and feldspar are very rich minerals in terms of its use in the ceramic plates. So it's a main component of material used in those shiny uh, bowls of that we use in our household, and also the plates, no? So if you notice, it is very shiny. It's a porcelain, no? When you drop it, it will break easily. So that's how the kaolin and feldspar work. It made the plates and the bowls very shiny, no? So that's the mixture of feldspar and kaolin, and when you mix that with water, it will create a porcelain ware. So how the pots are made, or the process, what are the processes? So we will be preparing the materials and work with clay and work with the processes like drying, firing, cooling, decorating, and glazing. Now for the preparation of the material, we have the aquarium clay. Of course, you have to get the earthenware, no? And then once you separated the clay, no, you will clean that, separating from the sediments of the clay. So using the water, then the water should mix with the clay, and it will create a texture like a peanut butter, no? And then you will have your filter on it, so that the water will eventually separate from the mixture. And then after that, you will dry the clay, no, and form into a dough. Then after that, of course, you will be kneading the dough. Then the mixing the proper portions, of course, you will apply those kaolin and feldspar if you are going to mix that in the clay, no? That will probably create a porcelain mixture, and also the mixture of clay. So you will be kneading that through, of course, there are two kinds of kneading. You can either manually knead that with the help of your hands, or with the help of your animals, no? Just like the in the picture, the water buffalo here. And you can also need that in the process of the industrial work or machines, no? So that's how machine is very important and plays a big role in our uh, in our lives, to make our lives easier. And then after that, you will be slab making it and form into your desired shape, no? Then you can either use a method of coiling, no? That's how you put one coil into another to form uh, a jar, no? That's like in just like in the example, no, in the picture. And it's very popular sa ato, no? One method is also a turning, modeling, or crowing, no? With the use of a spinning wheel and your hands, and of course the wet clay that you are be using. So this is an example of earthenware. And we also have the hand modeling, which is very traditional. You will use your hands and you will eventually create a design on your own and with the use of flattening tool, just like in the picture. Flattening tool, it's a form of, well, a good flat wood, no, or other materials that you use to flatten the surface of the clay. And then we have the cradling. No, it's used for a artistic designs and uh, used for artistry. So that's cradling. And we have molding for you to the main reason for the molding is used to reproduce a lot of copies, no? So that it will become easier for you to replicate those kind of pots that you wanted to make. So that's molding works. It is mainly for reproduction, easy reproduction of your product. And then after that, you will go into the drying stage, no, wherein you will leave the clay to 2 to 3 months or 1 month perhaps, so that the clay will eventually hold itself together so that it will become stronger and unbreakable, not easily uh, to be broken. And then we have also firing and cooling. Firing is also one method so that the clay will not be cracking, no? And other people use the cooling, just simply store that in a cool, dry place, no? Just like the drying. So drying uses an air, no? Unlike the cooling uses the room temperature. So it's a closed temperature, no? Then after that, after the drying, firing, and the cooling, you will proceed to the next step, which is the decoration. So you can add colors and designs, no? So glazing or decorating is the final stage. So you can either use paints, no, or other coloring materials for your pots. So this is a porcelain. It's a mixture of kaolin and feldspar. No? And we have also incisions. Incisions are carving of designs in the pots that you have made. No? So incisions leave a permanent mark when the clay is already very dry and ready to be sold. Then we have impressions also, the use of patterns or stamps, no, in to make a design. Unlike incision, impressions are using stamps or design ready-made already and simply putting that into the base of the pots. And just like the incisions, we have carvings also, but carvings are getting some um, portions of the clay, you know, so that it will emboss a natural design. And we also have paintings, the use of colors and coloring materials. And we also have modeling when the artist is fine with reshaping the desired shape that she wanted or he wanted to have. Okay, so I hope you learned something in the introduction of the pottery. So please visit the LMS and I will be posting the seat work for the pottery. We will be continuing our lesson next video. So there's a lot to be discussed in the pottery or the sculpture. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good day. God bless.